guys, hello and welcome to July's Creativity Delivered using our Whale Done bundle. I am so excited. You guys are going to love these projects. Our first project that we're going to make is this cool little window card. It's got a little sneak peek into the ocean floor here between these whales. Open it up and you've got a fun little scene and a place to write your message, and then you can see through the window there on the back side. This is going to be a fun and pretty quick and simple card. So everything that you need is in your kit. It's all been provided except the bundle, unless you purchased it from me. You have your ribbon, and none of you have your sequins yet. Those are on back order, but we'll send those to you as soon as they come in. But you have those things, and then you also have your packet that has all your pieces. Now, the ink colors that you're going to need are going to be Pacific Point, Just Jade, and Bermuda Bay. Those are the three colors that you'll need. And you're gonna need some sponge daubers, okay? Because we're gonna play with the tone of the colors on our whales. So the first thing we have to do is actually cut our base. So your base looks like this, just a normal card base, but we're gonna have to do some trimming. And I didn't do this part for you because one, it would have been a lot of work for me, but two, I want you to know how to do this. So have your trimmer here. Open your card up so it's the long side's gonna be up against the top of your trimmer, and line it up at 6 3/4 inches. So extend your arm or whatever you need to do for your trimmer. Go out to 6 3/4 inches and trim off this end piece here. So now you've got the first section of your card. You're gonna have this section and you need to cut 1/2 inch out of it. So you just need a little 1/2 inch piece. Okay, so these are going to be for your card. This piece is extra and you can set it aside. You won't need it. All right, the other pieces that you have in your packet are a window sheet here. You have a window sheet that's gonna go between these two pieces. You have designer series paper, so you have one that looks like waves, and then you have one that's going to be our little background through the window piece. You also have a scrap of Whisper White. This is going to be to stamp and punch out your whales, and then you have a little stitched nested label. That's going to be for your label down here at the bottom. All right, so let's go ahead and do our stamping, and then we'll glue and assemble. So the first thing we need to stamp, let's go ahead and do the background of our little piece here. So I'll open this up so you guys can see. We have some fish and we have a little seahorse. So I have the little fish on a stamp or on a clear block. I'm going to use Pacific Point and just stamp these fishes. You can choose the direction that your fish are swimming in, but I chose for them to be going towards the left. So they're up here just swimming away, okay? And then we need our, I'm just gonna leave this open because we're gonna use it again. Then we need our Just Jade. That's what I use to color the seahorse. So ink up our seahorse and just stamp him there in the background, okay? So that's it for Just Jade at the moment. Now let's go ahead and open Bermuda Bay. So we have Bermuda Bay open, and we have a sentiment that says, "Whale Done." So on the front of our card, we have this cute little label that says "Whale Done." So we're gonna stamp that in Bermuda Bay. Okay, there we go. All the stamping's done, but we're gonna leave these open because we have another task at hand here. We have to make our whale, both of our whales. Okay. So we have our block, we have our whale on a block, and we have our sponge daubers. And you're gonna need 3 sponge daubers because you have 3 different colors. So I've got my ones where they need to go. The first ink I'm gonna pick up is Just Jade. I'm going to ink it up, and I'm just going to ink the bottom portion of my whale. Just the bottom. Just putting color here. Okay, that's it for Just Jade. Now I'm gonna do the same thing with Bermuda Bay. pick up Bermuda Bay and ink up the middle of the whale. And then Pacific Point. Pacific Point at the top. Okay, so the first thing we need to do before we stamp this is huff on it, and that reactivates the ink so we have a nice good image. Just huff on it nice and good, and then we can stamp it down and see what we got. This is always my favorite part because it's kind of like the reveal. Yay, there's our pretty little whale. Okay, we're gonna do that one more time for a second whale. We're gonna ink up Just Jade, put it down across the bottom, ink up Pacific or Bermuda Bay, sorry. Bermuda Bay here in the middle, and Pacific Point at the top. Pretty colors together. Huff on your whale and stamp. Okay, that is all the stamping we gotta do, so we can close our ink pads. Now the fun part of putting this cutie together. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is put our window sheet into place. So what we're going to need, I recommend fast fuse because you don't have to worry about liquid glue drying or anything, but I'm going to put a strip of tear and tape across both sides of my window sheet. So there and here. Okay. So I'm going to peel off one side first, and I'm flipping it over. So the sticky side is on the back of my window. So we're going to glue this down, and I'm putting my little 1/2 inch here just as a guide to make sure that I don't go past this piece, that my adhesive on my other side is going to match up. So you're just going to find out where that adhesive won't be showing. And I only peeled one side, so I only have adhesive on this one side. I'm just gluing to this inside piece. Okay, so once I've got that down, which looks great, I'm not going over the edge or anything like that. Now I can take the backing off of this side. Again, line this piece up here at the very side edge of your card, like so, and then we're going to glue it down. Okay, so now if you opened your card, you see just a white background with a whisper white, or I mean with a window sheet in the between. You don't see any adhesive. On this side, we're still seeing adhesive, but it's going to be covered up here in a second. So now we're going to take these pieces of designer series paper that I've cut for you. So the window sheet measures 2 inches by 5.5. This piece here measures 2.5 by 5.5, and this one is 1/2 by 5.5. Okay, and all those measurements are on the project sheet, so you don't need to write them down, but I just wanted to explain what the pieces were. So putting adhesive on the back of this piece and gluing it down, I like to have the dark waves at the bottom and the lighter waves at the top. But you do whatever makes you happy. If you like the seahorses on the other side, put the seahorses. It's your card. Oops, okay. I went over, got it on my sheet. Okay. And then this piece here goes right on the edge over that whisper white piece. Okay. Awesome. So the next little trick that we have to do is put our piece, our background piece behind the window. Now this part is a little bit tricky because you don't want any white showing. So you want to be sure to put this about 1/2 inch away. And before I actually glue it down, I just want to make sure I don't need to move it over, and I do. I need to slide it over a little bit. And that looks perfect to me, so I'm going to push it down and adhere it down to the base. So I recommend using liquid glue for this little step just because you might have to move it. So when you lay it down, just lay it down gently. Don't push it down yet. Make sure it lines up in your window just fine. And then if you need to do any adjusting, you can, and then glue it down. Okay, I hope that made sense. Alrighty, we're almost there. Now we're going to punch our whales. So the way that I stamp my whales, I actually have to cut them apart and cut this down too. There we go. All right, so we have our whale punch and we just slide that in there. See if I can do this. My paper's a little short. Punch our whale. And one more time, little whale. Perfect, okay. So we've got our whale punched. Let's go ahead and throw the scraps away. And now we're going to glue our whales. So we're gonna do them on dimensionals. Now I don't want my dimensionals being seen through the window, so be very careful about where you put these adhesive. So for this bottom whale, since a lot of its tail is going to be showing, I'm only going to go up to that one dimensional. So I don't want to see that dimensional through the window. And then we have another whale up here who really only has a little bit of his tail showing, so we can put the dimensional a little bit further back. These are a little pair of whales. I couldn't even talk. All right, so now we need to crack into our ribbon here. So we're gonna take our ribbon and fold it over and just make a little piece here. I would say that's about, oh gosh, let's see, 5.5 inches of ribbon. Fold it in half, put it on the back of our label like so. Okay, sideways. Kind of looks like a jellyfish, in my opinion. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put dimensionals on the back of our label and that's going to hold our ribbon down. I kind of just strategically place them so that they are held down, but the dimensional is also sticking to the paper. If you stick it only to the ribbon, then the label will not stick. But if you've got it on both, then you're good. Alrighty, then we'll just put this little guy down here. And then the last thing is, once you have your sequins, you can decorate the window with some sparklies. And I kind of pictured it like it was bubbles. So what I did was I just put a little dots of adhesive down on the window sheet. And then you can take your piercer or take your pick tool or whatever it is you're going to use. And I'm going to use my little putty end of my take your pick tool, and just put a sequin down on each of those spots that you glued. Fun, right? There's even little seashell sequins in here that you could use. So cute. But it's like little sparkly bubbles. There we go. And the liquid glue is going to take a while to dry on a window sheet. I noticed that. Have you guys ever noticed that, how long it takes liquid glue to dry on window sheets? It takes a long time. So you just got to be patient, let it sit there. So I've got my sequins on my window sheet. And that is it, folks. How fun is that? I love this little whale. I hope you like this project. I hope you love this month's kit. And thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.